All right, so we've got the data open. Now we need to prepare the data for the model. So remember, everything that happens after the hashtag is ignored, so that's how I comment. So I'm going to prepare the data. So I want to look at just gorillas during the during the dry season. And so to do that, I need to limit my gorillas shape file. So I need to extract from the raster data all of those pixels on which known gorilla locations rest, right? And I need to do the same thing for nope. So to do that, I need to get just the gorillas during the dry season. So to do that, inside gorillas, there is a variable called season. So I'm going to call this keep, and it's going to be equal to which gorillas season equals dry. So when I run that, I have a list of rows 1 through 612, although not all of them. We're skipping a lot of data here. But these are all of our points for which we have gorillas found in the dry season. So I'm going to call this dry data, and I'm going to extract from the raster all of those points from gorillas that we're going to keep. Okay, so gorillas from the dry season, all of those pixels that fall upon those rasters, we're going to extract that out and save it as a matrix. So let's take a look at what we have created here. I now have dry.data is a matrix with 275 rows and 9 columns, and it is a matrix, so the command is column names dry.data. So I have the aspects, so here are my 9 data. I have those as columns, and I have for the 975 known gorillas during the dry season, I have a row for each one of those gorillas, right? So I need to extract the nope again here. So this will be the no data. There are no gorillas found here. Extract from the raster nope. Now in this case, I now have no.data. I'll have the same 9 columns, but I have 400 values. Okay. So I'm going to create a identifier for whether or not there are gorillas, and I'm just going to call this groups. And I'm going to say here that I need to repeat 1 and 0. So 1 is if there are gorillas, and 0 is not. And I'm going to repeat them. There are 275 times that there are gorillas, and there are 400 times that there are not. Okay, so if I take a look at what I've just created here, I have 275 ones and then 400 zeros. So that's my identifier. And I'm going to combine the data here so that it's all in one friendly format. I'm going to use the row bind command to combine dry data with no data. I'm actually going to add my groups data to that as well. So I'm going to call this the data cbind the data, but add groups onto the tail end of that, and then save it as a data frame. Yeah, this is why we love R, isn't it? So I now have a data frame with 675 rows. So the first 275 are where we have gorillas. The next 400 are where we do not. I have 10 variables. Now if I look at that, it's because I have here my 9 original variables plus a last one, which is called groups. And if, just to see what we're looking at here, we look at head. So here we have aspect, elevation, the heat value, the roughness, the ruggedness value, the slope, the topographic index, the vegetation value, and the distance to water, and which group it is located in all of my data. The only other thing that we have to do in order to get this data ready to create the model is this heat it's 1, 2, and 3, and unless we tell R that those are not actually numbers, that those are classes of vegetation, and the same thing for temperature classes, and these are classes of vegetation, we're going to run into a problem. So R needs to know that those are categorical variables, not data variables. So to do that, we're going to say the data heat, it's a capital H, is equal to, as a factor, the data heat. So now I have, the numbers have not changed, but I have told R that those are factors, not numbers. I can copy that line, and I need to do the same thing for veg and veg. Okay, so to double check that that worked, I can use the lapply command. The data is here. And so we have aspect is numeric, elevation is numeric, heat is a factor, roughness is numeric, rugged is numeric, slope is numeric, topographic index is numeric, vegetation is factor, water is numeric, and groups are numeric. So we're good. The data set that we have called the data is now a data frame, and we are ready to build our generalized linear model of a binomial logistic regression. Woo! Which we are going to use to predict where we would find gorillas.